Hello everyone, Andrew here, and today I'm going to be doing another video response for edt1138's latest Top 3 Tuesday. But before I get to that, I just want to thank absolutely everyone who responded to the question that I actually asked for edt1138's last Top 3 Tuesday. I really appreciated that. I watched pretty much just all the responses because I thought it was really neat to see what a lot of other people's rarest items were too, so it was a lot of fun watching those. And thanks to everyone who responded, and thanks to everyone who found my channel through that, and subscribed to me too, as I went from like 260 and now I'm almost at 400. Last week I just made a 300 subscriber thank you message, and yeah, I'm already almost at 400. I'm past the 350 mark. I'm not sure exactly of the number at this point, but I'm pretty sure it's even over 360. So I mean, I got pretty much over 100 subscribers in the last week. So thank you so much to everyone who responded to that question and subscribed. I really appreciate that. But yeah, anyway, this week's Top 3 Tuesday. I don't know how the lighting is in here. It's kind of weird. Unfortunately, last time I did the video in my room, there was like a lot of light coming in through the window. But now today it's like a really miserable day. So if I'm going to look like Two-Face or something, it's going to be like the light side and the dark side. But oh well. I just really want to get this video done. There's not really any better place to do it. Because like I said, it's a miserable day. And so there's not really any more lighting anywhere else in the house. And the basement's a mess. But anyway, today, TheGameManDan asked this week's question. And his question is, what do you think the top 3 best or coolest looking consoles are? So basically just their outer shell. If you just looked at it, it's basically if every video game console was like just a display piece and you couldn't play it, what are the top 3 that you would put on display for everyone to see because they look really good? So this one took a bit of thinking. I knew my number 1 and number 2 immediately. Number 3 took a bit of thinking, although I'm pretty sure I decided the right thing in the end. And that is number 3. The Sega CDX. Now, Genesis CDX. Now, I really like the Genesis CDX. It's really neat because, I mean, you look at the Genesis and you see how it evolved. I mean, the first one, you had, like, Model 1 was, like, this big, and then Model 2 got a bit smaller, and then Model 3 was really compact. And now, you have a Genesis and a Sega CD combined in this really neat, small package, and it's really cool. So, I mean, the front opens up really neat. You can put your CD in there. That's the reset button. Opens on the other side. And you also have a whole bunch of cool buttons too for when you're listening to your audio, like stop, fast forward, go back, play. So it's really neat to have all those buttons and even the cartridge slot on the top. I've always really liked that. I've always really liked the design of this. I think it's really cool just how far the Genesis came from being that massive console and like so many revisions later. Being able to put a CD and the Genesis together. And make it that small. I've always really liked the design of it too. I thought it was really neat. But yeah, anyway, that's number 3. Not too much to say about it, but still, I'm probably going to say a lot more about this one. It should be also noted that the next 2 are Japanese too, and so basically everything in this video isn't going to be super easy to find if you're looking for it. But the next thing, and I assure you this is a gaming console, is the PC Engine core graphics. It's like the size of my hand. It's absolutely awesome. I really like this thing. I meant to get a card to show you, like a game card that goes in, for people who might not have seen it. Although I'm in my room, so I can't go all the way down to the basement to get one now. But yeah, the PC Engine core graphics is an absolutely awesome console, only released in Japan. It was released under a different name in North America, and that name was the TurboGrafx 16. So yeah, I mean, look. Here you have the PC Engine core graphics. Core graphics was one of the versions. There's a few different versions of it, although they're all pretty much the same and the same size. So then yet the TurboGrafx, I mean, it's the exact same thing. So what they did was they thought North Americans wouldn't be interested in such a small gaming console. So they said, man, North Americans, they always think bigger is better. So they took this and pretty much spread out the hardware into this. I'm trying to make it show up nice on the camera so you can kind of see the size comparison. I mean, so the TurboGrafx is like pointlessly big because it's the same insides. I mean, they played the exact same games except there's region protection, so technically you can't play the exact same games on each one. But I mean, they really are the same. So I mean, it was just silly that they had to make it so much bigger. And it's uglier too, I think. I like the smaller design. The back comes off because all you have is kind of a port back here for things like the CD attachment and that turbo booster thing that lets you plug in the red, white, yellow audio and video cords. And overall, yeah, they made it pointlessly big. I mean, it's really stupid because, I mean, the TurboGrafx is just about as big as the PC Engine box. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm trying to get this all to show up on screen. Usually when I do my videos in the basement, I can see everything that I'm doing on the TV in front of me, so it's really easy. Although now I'm just kind of looking at the small screen on my camera, so I don't know if everything's really turning out. But yeah, overall, PC Engine core graphics, really neat, but really mini console. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, the game cards, they're full-length games and everything. Just, they prove that your console doesn't have to be super massive to be awesome, and I've always really liked it. So that is number 2, PC Engine core graphics. Number 1 on my list, something a lot of people might not really like it. I mean, the colors are kind of weird, and the shape is definitely kind of different, but that's kind of what pulls me towards it, just how different it was. Because, I mean, the only other thing you really had back then was, I mean, I guess you had all the Ataris and ColecoVisions and stuff like that, but Nintendo made this really, really cool thing known as the Family Computer, or the Famicom for short, and this is the Japanese version of your NES. I hope I'm centered in the picture, because, like I said, I can't really see the screen on my camera. And I absolutely love the design of this thing. I mean, even though the colors are kind of weird, I've always really liked them. I've always really liked the shape. The controllers are built in, which is one kind of downside, since if they do get damaged, you can't switch them. But overall, I really like the controllers that are built in. Get kind of that flap there, so you don't get dust in your cartridge slot. And yeah, overall, I've really liked it. For everyone who wondered where the eject button came from on the Super Nintendo, the Japanese version of the NES had one too, so that's kind of why it was carried over to the Super Nintendo. Even though the NES didn't have one, since the NES was front-loaders. I remember they were going for like a VCR kind of thing, something Americans would be able to like recognize when they made the NES. But that's why the Japanese version is so different, is they completely redesigned it. And yeah, Famicom is my #1 favorite console, just because of how cool it is and how you look at it and you get that massive retro feeling from it. It's just that neat. And yeah, those are my top 3. Top 3 consoles that I think have the coolest designs. Let's go with that. So awesome question. Thank you very much. And yeah, thank you to everyone who's watching. And again, thanks to everyone who responded to my top 3 Tuesday question. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's about it for today's video. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And hope to see you next time for something different. So thanks, and see you then.